Hi guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome if you're new. My name is Kai, and without further ado, let's go ahead and get straight into today's video. So today we are going to be doing some simple gel extensions, and to start us off, I'll be doing just a little bit of nail prep as always. And before we go ahead and get into things, here is just a quick glance at what my nails are looking like right now. They're not too bad, but I still want to go ahead and just prep them before we move on to the actual nail process. As always, I like to start off by sanitizing my implements with some alcohol, just as an extra safety measure. And for anyone wondering, this is done after cleansing and sterilizing them. But again, just to feel a little bit more secure, I like to go ahead and sanitize them with alcohol before I jump into things. Likewise, I'll be sanitizing my nails with some alcohol as well. To start the nail prep, I'm going to push back my cuticles, and to make this process easier, I like to go in with some cuticle remover. This does a pretty good job with softening the cuticle and the proximal nail fold, and this allows me to push back my cuticles without any further strain. This isn't a necessary product to invest in, but it is a nice addition if you have stubborn cuticles like me, and I really enjoy how easy it makes it to push things back without accidentally hurting myself or causing unnecessary damage. After allowing that to sit in for a few seconds, I'm going to push back my cuticles as best as I can, making sure to remove the dead skin as I go. This is usually a process that I don't mind repeating, so if I have some leftover cuticle that I want to further remove, I can always go back in with more of that remover and push things back again. Once my cuticles have been pushed back, I'm going to cut back any excess cuticle and the proximal nail fold with my cuticle nippers. During this process, I'm really focusing on making sure that no cuticle is left behind, especially when I'm doing a lasting nail set. But for aesthetics, I do clip back my proximal nail fold as well. This is, of course, fully cosmetic and isn't necessary, so definitely be as careful as possible if you do choose to do this. Otherwise, just make sure that the cuticle is fully removed from the nail plate and you are good to go. So today we'll be keeping things pretty simple and doing some gel extensions. I have been doing these a ton lately, and I'm honestly just enjoying how quick and simple they are. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and size out these nail tips and just make sure that they fit comfortably from sidewall to sidewall. To adhere these properly, I'll need to remove the shine from the inside of the nail tip, and to help me do that, I'm just going to use this cuticle bit here that'll be able to fit into the well of the nail tip. You can use whatever works best for you here, just make sure that it has a good grit and is able to create some scuffs in the nail tip. And now we're ready to cure these on. I'm going to use my Model 1's builder gel and my portable UV lamp as usual. First, I'm going to remove any excess dust as best as I can. Any dust left behind can definitely lead to lifting in the future. And I'll follow that up with applying some builder gel directly onto the scuffed area of the nail tip. I also like to apply a bit of gel to the tip of my natural nail as well, especially because these nail tips do have a bit of an apex. I want to make sure that the area gets filled in as best as possible with this gel. Once that's applied, I can place the tip down onto my natural nail, keeping an even pressure on all sides and working from the cuticle up to the tip of the nail. And once things are situated, I'm going to cure this for about 20 seconds under my lamp. And here is what that looks like applied, and I think my application is getting better and better with each time I do it. And with me saying that, I do just want to mention that gel extensions can definitely be difficult at first, but practice definitely does make improvement. I'll be doing some short almonds today, so I'm going to cut off the excess length with some tip cutters. And while I'm doing this, I like to make sure to align all of my nails with each other to ensure that they're the same length. I usually like to make my pinky nail slightly shorter than the rest when I'm doing almond nails, but of course that's personal preference. You can definitely make them all the same length if you choose to. And to achieve my almond shape, I'm going to cut the sides of the tips using some straight edge nail clippers. I'm just setting up some rough guidelines here, so it doesn't have to be perfect at this point, especially considering that we're just going to go ahead and file them afterwards, so I'm not going to focus too much on making it super neat here. Now let's get into the shaping. I'm going to start by filing the sidewalls of my nails using an 80/80 grit nail file. These tips are pretty soft, so as I usually mention, this grit isn't necessary. Something softer like 100 or even 180 can definitely work here as well. After the sidewalls have been shaped, I'm going to seal my cuticles using this carbide bit. Personally, I would prefer to use a ceramic bit for gels and other softer products, but unfortunately, my favorite ceramic bit just mysteriously broke, so this is what I'm going to use instead. Either way, I'm going to focus on removing any ledges and flooding if there is any, but do make sure not to go overboard and start filing away too much of the tip at this point. Lastly, I'm going to buff away all the shine from these nail tips using a mini buffer. So before we get into the nail art, I'm going to seal my cuticles with some acetone. Usually when I'm doing gel extensions and I'm onto the nail art process, you will notice that the cuticle area of the nails are pretty shiny, and that is because I like to use some acetone to melt the gel tips a little bit and create a more natural and seamless blend. I do like to do a few passes of this to really make it as smooth and seamless as possible. So we are now onto the nail art process, and these are the two nail sets that I was inspired by, and I decided to take elements from both sets and combine them into something a little bit more simplistic and something really nice and warm. So as always, to get us started, I'm going to mix out my gel polish colors. Now before I do anything, I'm gonna wipe off my nails with some alcohol. To start off the nail art, I'm going to go ahead and complete all of the bases for all 5 nails first. And to kick that off, I'm going to go over my pointer and my ring finger with some nude gel polish. And as you can see, I finally have an actual nude gel polish instead of a nude builder gel. So it was really nice to not have to worry about the nail getting thicker than needed. But anyway, I'm going to do this in a few layers to help build up that color. And if I remember correctly, I did this in a total of 3 layers for both nails. Next, I'm painting my middle finger with this cream colored gel polish. This is going to be an outline nail, so I'm not concerned with the gel getting super close to the cuticle area. So I like to leave a little bit of a gap as space for the outline color that we're going to be doing later. And as you'll notice with most of these colors that I'm doing today, I am going to be doing them in about 2 layers because I am working with Beetle's gel polish. And typically when I am using Beetle's, I have to do this because the colors aren't as opaque as I would like them to be. But if you are working with gel polishes that are pretty opaque on the first layer, you really don't have to go in with more than that. But if you are working with Beetle's or a brand that's pretty much adjacent to that, make sure that of course you are keeping these layers pretty thin as to not cause any issues with improper curing and wrinkling. To finish off the bases for these nails, I'm going to paint my pinky nail with this dark brown color. And for this nail, I am for sure going to close off all the gaps and get it as close to the cuticle area as possible without getting it on my skin. And for this, I do like to use a liner brush for some extra precision. Once the bases are done, I'm going to create a French tip on my ring finger using the same cream colored gel polish. Unfortunately, my nail extension application is still in need of some work, so I did have to cover up my flaws a little bit here. I kept my French tip pretty much in line with my natural smile line, and even though I really did not want the French tip line to be at this point, it was a lot easier to do because I just had to follow what was naturally already there. So in the end, it really wasn't too bad, so I wasn't too upset about that. And again, I'm going to be doing 2 layers of this color. And usually for my second layer, I like to make sure to correct anything that I couldn't really get perfect in the first one. But even still, I want to keep things pretty thin and not go overboard with the amount of gel that I'm using. And of course, before I cure each layer, I do like to wipe down the sides to help me maintain my shape. Before finishing off all of the gel nail art, I'm going to jump into some airbrushing. I'm using 2 shades of brown to create a nice neutral brown color, and I do believe that I did use a little bit of orange because the color wasn't as rich as I would like it to be. So I'm going to do some airbrushing on my pointer finger, my middle finger, and also my thumbnail. And for the airbrushing on my pointer and middle finger, and for my pointer finger and my middle finger, I'm keeping the airbrushing in the center of the nail. For my thumb, I'm going to keep the airbrushing in the center of the French tip area only. And because this area is pretty small, I did have to hold the airbrush tool pretty close to my nail. And so I do want to say, make sure that you're not really pulling back the trigger fully and just holding it there. You want to make sure that the color is nice and dispersed and even. So I would recommend not pulling it back and just do very, very light sprays as you go. But either way, yeah, I just did the airbrushing in the center of the French tip nail and I cleaned up whatever excess I needed to before I went ahead and cured this. And now that the airbrushing is out of the way, I'm going to move on to the outlines for these nails using the same dark brown gel polish. As a bit of a tip, whenever I'm working on top of airbrushing, I'd suggest adding a layer of base coat or even like a matte top coat to help create a smoother surface to work on top of. And especially if you are using a base coat, make sure that you wipe off the base coat before you do anything on top of that. I have found that like sometimes when you work on top of base coat and you don't wipe it off, it can kind of get a little bit muddy and start to bleed. I don't really know what the reason for that is. I'm pretty sure it's because there's still a thin layer of uncured gel on top of that. So it's best to just wipe them off with some alcohol to go ahead and prevent that. As for the outlines, I'm using a fairly long liner brush. I was testing out some new brushes, so I didn't have my really long one on hand today. So it took me a little longer to get things nice and neat, but make sure to use the longest brush that you have to assist in some stability. Now for my pointer finger, this one is a little bit different. It's been a while since I've actually done this nail and it's kind of odd to explain. We're going to do something similar to a French tip, except there's a hole in the middle of it. This is definitely a little bit tricky. So of course, make sure to take your time as always and do keep a cleanup brush nearby if you need it. And to finish off the outlines, I'm going to create a brown outline only around the French tip area of my thumbnail. So let's get into the 3D work. I'm using some brown sculpting clays to create my coffee beans on my ring finger, and I would say this is a fairly beginner-friendly nail since it's pretty simple to create. We're going to be creating 2 small beads of clay that has a line poke through it, and because these are coffee beans, I wasn't really too concerned with making it super perfect. They didn't really need to be the same size, the same shape, so that definitely takes the stress out of this process completely. So when you start to poke these, do make sure that whatever you're using isn't super thick. And so to help me do that, I am going to be using the silicone tool. But if you don't have something like this, I'm pretty sure that you can get away with using maybe even like an X-Acto knife if that's something that you have on hand. But either way, just make sure that it's not something that's too thick and blunt. And once that's all cured on, I'm going to paint the beads in a slightly lighter brown gel polish. The color of the beads initially wasn't too terrible, but it was too red for me, and I wanted it to match just a little bit more with the sort of like neutral brown of the overall nail set. Now to close off the 3D work, I'm going to be creating some 3D rhinestone swirls on my pinky nail. And as I've mentioned before, I really do enjoy applying the gel directly to the brush that I'm using so that I can control the amount of gel that I use for each swirl and also avoid wasting so much product in the process. After each individual swirl, I do like to cure things in place with my portable UV lamp. This is going to help to maintain the height and the overall shape, and I try and be pretty quick with this because rhinestone glue, even though it is pretty thick, it can droop very quickly. So having a portable UV lamp next to you is definitely going to help in this process. But if not, flipping your hand over and allowing it to get a little bit more bulbous before you cure it definitely does the trick as well. And to finish off the nail art for this nail set, I'm going to be applying some gold beads to these nails. I'm applying these to my pointer finger, my middle finger, and my pinky nails. And of course, I'm curing these down with some rhinestone glue as always. And to finish these off, I'm applying a single layer of top coat to all 5 nails, making sure to thoroughly cover the beads and the coffee beans as well. So these nails are done, and here is what things are looking like. I'm going to finish these off with a little bit of cuticle oil. And that completes today's set. I really do hope you guys enjoyed this one. These are a lot simpler than what you guys are probably used to seeing me create, but you guys wanted to see some more simple nail sets from me, and I thought that this would be a good start to that. Even despite their simplicity, these feel very, very warm and cozy, and it just makes me feel like I'm drinking a cup of hot coffee on a fall morning, and the coffee beans are definitely my favorite part of these nails. But of course, you guys let me know what you think of this nail set in the comments. As for our nail scale, I would definitely give these a 9.5 out of 10. Nothing about this nail set is necessarily bothering me, but I do wish that I did them a little bit longer. I don't know, I think I kind of miss doing long nails. I don't know. And yeah, maybe I'm just being like kind of nitpicky, but anyway, yeah. But anyways, these are really cute, and I enjoyed how relaxing these were to create. I wasn't stressing about my abilities. I wasn't sitting here for hours stressed out because of its intricacy. These were very nice, very relaxing, and calming. And that's something that I definitely need right now. And I really, really do hope that you guys also found this to be relaxing and calming. Anyways, we're kind of in a weird spot with nails right now because it's still fall, but we're reaching winter, kind of. So I think I want to finish off November with some more late fall nails. And by December, I think we'll finally go ahead and get into some winter and Christmas nails. And I am pretty excited about that. I have a couple of ideas that I want to execute. But yeah, I'm very excited about that. And I hope that you guys are too. But yeah, you guys, that is all that I have for you guys today. As always, I want to say thank you guys so much for tuning in today, and I will see you guys in the next one.